This video is about comma rules in English punctuation. To understand this rule, you must know the difference between a main clause and a subordinate clause. A main clause is also called an independent clause. It can stand on its own as a complete sentence. A subordinate clause, on the other hand, cannot stand on its own as a complete sentence. It is also called a dependent clause. In this sentence, can you tell which clause is the main clause and which clause is the subordinate clause? Although she joined the company only a year ago, she's already been promoted twice. The first clause, although she joined the company over a year ago, was the subordinate clause. It cannot stand on its own as a complete sentence. It's not a complete thought. The second clause is the main clause. She's already been promoted twice, can stand on its own as a sentence. When a subordinate clause comes before the main clause, we usually use a comma to separate the clauses. Although she joined the company only a year ago, she's already been promoted twice. Here are two examples that illustrate when to use a comma and when not to use a comma. Note that in the second sentence, the main clause comes first. And in the first sentence, the main clause follows the subordinate clause. Here's another example. Because the weather was awful, we didn't enjoy the day. Notice that there's a comma between the two clauses because the main clause comes second. Note that in the second sentence, the main clause comes first. And in the first sentence, the main clause follows the subordinate clause. In this example, if you suffer from weight problems, you should choose a diet which is low in fats and sugar. Again, shows that the comma is present when the main clause comes after the subordinate clause. Now it's time for a test. In these sentences, see if you can decide which ones take a comma and where the comma should be placed. For more English lessons, follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Learner English with KT.